All right, now it's review time. Because everyone loves reviews, and we need to know what to watch in movie theaters right now. Now, our resident film critic Raymond's here, and he's going to tell us what to watch in theaters right now. And you know what? You actually just came from the movie theaters, and you saw two films, two big films that I think people are excited about. Tell
Well, it was
us
actually last
which.
night.
Oh, okay, it was last night.
I was talking about James D. Monica's new horror film, The Home, starring Pete Davidson. If you're not familiar with this movie, it's well, no one is actually because there's been no marketing for the film. That's actually what kind of made me want to go see it because it's a new
Let me
film from the director of The Purge. And it stars Pete Davidson, who's a very big comedian right now. So it's kind of interesting that Lionsgate, I think it's Lionsgate, right? They've got this film and they're just like dumping it like with no marketing, no promotion at all. Because if they just advertised this like the new film from The Purge starring Pete Davidson, you would think it would get some butts and seats, right?
let me ask you this: so when you went to the movie theaters, how many people were in the theater?
For this film,
Yeah,
for the most highly anticipated movie of the year.
yeah.
I think it was me and like 6 other people.
Wow. Okay, that's
Did
not
you
bad.
buy your tickets weeks ago just to make sure you got in?
You get to the
I bought
best
my
seats in
ticket.
your house.
I bought my ticket, I think like 4 or 5 days before the show because that's when they became available to purchase.
Did you buy the Pete Davidson popcorn bucket at the movie?
No, but I did buy some of the Fantastic Four popcorn buckets. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, so yeah, this film it has a very familiar premise or setup. You have a troubled 20 something character. He's working in the location. In this one, it's an elderly home, and he suspects something's happening. He's suspicious of something, and he starts investigating. And as he's investigating, a bunch of things, weird things start to happen, and I'll just leave it at that. But so it has an interesting premise, and as the movie kind of progresses, you do kind of feel some influences from films I really would not expect, the director of the Purge movie to be kind of influenced by. But like I felt like shades of like The Shining in this movie. Unfortunately, this is the new film from the director of the Purge, and if you're a horror fan like me, you're probably familiar with those movies, and you're probably very disappointed by every single Purge film. I love the premise of the Purge movies. I think that franchise has so much potential to be a great horror franchise, but unfortunately, they're all written by the same guy, by the guy that made this movie that I'm talking about right now. And he's just not a great screenwriter. He has some great ideas and stuff and concepts, but he just never fully pulls them off. And he's not a great director either. So that's also not really helping this movie. And I guess let's talk about Pete Davidson really quick. So I thought he would have been a big draw for this movie. Like I said, I thought you could make some trailers and say this is the new movie with Pete Davidson. Young people come see it, but apparently not. He's serviceable enough in the movie. He's good at times. He's pretty bad in other times. I don't know if it's necessarily all his fault. It's hard to tell when you're working with this director, but he's certainly not doing the movie a lot of favors. And
It's like Sweeney and Madam Web, huh, Mike?
he's not that bad. That's interesting though, because off topic, but Sydney Sweeney is actually like a pretty good actress, but she's terrible in that film.
Yeah, that's what we were saying, that you couldn't, if you judged her off that film, you wouldn't watch anything else. But the one where she was pregnant by the Satan or whatever, that was a pretty good one.
I forgot what that movie is called, but yeah,
That was like you told me to watch that one.
I told you, yeah, I can't remember now.
I want to say Inception, but that's not it.
it's like The First Omen, but not The First Omen.
Yeah, it came out like the same year as the Omen, or the Omen sequel or prequel, Firstborn or whatever. Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah,
that was a good one.
Back to this film, The Home, though. I mean, it's
Immaculate for you.
okay, but back to The Home, the most anticipated movie of the year. It's not great. I mean, after watching the movie, you can see why the studio didn't want to invest more into the marketing of this film. They probably just wanted to take the loss on it. But while the movie is like disappointing and not good and kind of generic, It's not the worst horror film I've seen this year. And while I'm making it sound, pretty terrible, I was never bored watching the movie. Like, it's very generic, but this is totally like the type of horror film I would watch on streaming and like on a weekend and just watch it one, have a good time, and then never think about it ever again. It's just what makes it kind of frustrating is that, I actually spent money on the ticket and I bought popcorn and soda and I'd made a whole thing about it. And that always kind of makes a generic movie feel much worse. You feel all the flaws just, stick out so much more. So the film, don't see it in theaters. If it pops up on Netflix and you're into kind of corny horror movies, generic horror movies, I think you can do worse. I think Clown in the Cornfield, which is critically acclaimed, is much worse. But that's just me.
All right, that's well, that was The Home, which was a big movie release. Now let's talk about the other big release,
Yes.
the one that actually everyone was talking about.
Yes, and I just watched it. Everyone's talking about it, and unfortunately, it's another disappointment. Happy Gilmore 2. It did not live up to expectations.
Wait, did you really see it?
Yeah, I watched it this afternoon.
Oh wow.
I don't have a lot to say. It just really quick. I love the original. I love the Adam Sandler movies in the 90s and growing up the early 2000s. Everything he produced for Netflix, except for that basketball movie, has been awful. Every comedy he's made for Netflix has been trash. But this one seems so much worse than the others because it's a sequel to a movie that I actually like. And there's so many people in this movie. There's so many people that I love that show up in this film, like Benny Safdie, the great Benny Safdie is the villain of the film. And he's given a great performance in it, but it's just terrible. None of the jokes landed. I never laughed. It's 2 hours for some reason. Like, why is this 2 hours? It drags. And yeah, I mean, it's not good. And I gotta say also, like, the overall the villain premise of this movie, I think could have had potential, like if he had like a good director and if he had maybe some good comedy writers attached to it. Because what the villains are doing in this movie, it's almost like something out of like Dodgeball. Like they're almost like trying to turn golf into like extreme sports or something like that. It's ridiculous. But they can't even do anything funny with it. It just all falls flat. It's a disappointing movie. It sucks. I love Sandler, but just stick to drama, man. That's your thing. That's what you're really doing well now. That basketball movie, I think it was called Hustle, right? That movie was incredible. That movie he did for Netflix, the basketball movie. Uncut Gems is amazing. Just stick to that stuff. I mean, comedy, this was just another reaffirmation that he just lost it a long time.
Is it because he's now more of a family man and like his comedies in the 90s were kind of him being like the complete asshole, the bastard?
That's
kind of reveled in that.
That's what I used to think, but I think this movie proves that he just doesn't have it in it anymore. Because the jokes, man, the actual writing is just all falls flat. He actually wrote this one. Adam Sandler actually wrote this one. It wasn't his friends. He wrote it, and it's one of the worst ones.
I don't know, to be fair,
anything good to say about it. It's unfortunately one of his worst movies. They get cameos from even Eminem in this. Eminem, every time he makes a cameo in a movie, he's hilarious. He's not in this one. How do you have Eminem in your comedy and you make him fail? Like, it's a miss.
But to be fair, I liked Hubie Halloween. Hubie Halloween, was that it? Yeah. The Netflix one, the Halloween one. I think that was fine. That was funny. This one wasn't great, but
yeah, you just can't. Yeah, your mind can't be on when you watch his new shit, like the Ridiculous Six. My kid loved it, but there was nothing in it. It was horrible.